We are talking about one of the most interesting coins in American pocket change history, the 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark. Millions of people have handled this coin without realizing that some rare versions could be extremely valuable. But before you rush to check your coins, you need to understand the story behind this quarter, why it was made, and what makes certain examples worth serious money. Let's go back to the year 1965. America was facing a coin shortage. Silver prices were rising quickly, and people had started hoarding coins because they were made from real silver. Quarters, dimes, and half dollars contained precious metal, and many Americans realized those coins were worth more as silver than as everyday money. The United States government had to act fast. So in 1965, the United States Mint made a historic decision. They removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters. Instead of the traditional 90% silver composition, the new quarters were made using a copper core with a nickel outer layer. This new composition became known as clad coinage. The first year this change happened was 1965, and it marked a huge turning point in American coin history. The design on the coin did not change. The familiar portrait of George Washington remained on the front of the quarter, a design originally created by sculptor John Flanagan back in 1932. However, there was another unusual change in 1965. Mint marks were removed from coins for several years. Normally coins have a small letter showing where they were made, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But from 1965 through 1967, the mint decided to remove mint marks entirely. They believed collectors were pulling coins out of circulation, which made the coin shortage worse. So, if you see a 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark, that is actually normal. Millions of them were produced. In fact, more than 1.8 billion quarters were minted in 1965. That makes it one of the highest production years in U.S. coin history. But here is where things get interesting. While most 1965 quarters are only worth face value, there are a few rare versions that collectors are constantly searching for. One of the most famous is the accidental silver 1965 quarter. Even though the mint officially switched to clad metal, a small number of leftover silver blanks from 1964 may have been accidentally used in 1965 production. This means a tiny number of 1965 quarters could actually be struck in 90% silver. These rare error coins are incredibly valuable. A genuine silver 1965 quarter can sell for thousands of dollars depending on condition. The easiest way to check is by looking at the edge of the coin. Normal clad quarters show a copper-colored stripe along the edge, but a silver quarter will have a solid silver-colored edge with no copper line. Weight can also help identify it. A clad 1965 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver quarter weighs slightly more at around 6.25 grams. Another valuable variety collectors watch for is coins in extremely high-grade condition. Most 1965 quarters circulated heavily, meaning they became scratched, worn, or damaged over time. But a coin that somehow stayed in perfect condition for decades can become very desirable. Professional grading companies, like Professional Coin Grading Service and numismatic guarantee companies, sometimes certify these coins at grades like MS67 or higher. At those levels, auction prices can jump dramatically. Some high-grade examples have sold for hundreds or even over $1,000 simply because of their incredible condition. Collectors also look for striking errors. These include off-center strikes, double strikes, clipped planchets, and other mint mistakes. Errors like these can make even a common coin suddenly very valuable. For example, an off-center 1965 quarter could sell for hundreds depending on how dramatic the error is. There are also double die varieties where parts of the design appear slightly doubled due to a mistake in the die used to strike the coin. These can sometimes be subtle, so collectors often use magnification to examine the lettering and date. Another factor that increases value is original mint luster. A brilliant, shiny coin that still reflects light the way it did when it left the mint is far more appealing to collectors. Coins that have been cleaned or polished usually lose collector value. So, if you believe you have a valuable quarter, never clean it. Cleaning can permanently damage the surface and reduce its worth. Instead, store the coin safely and consider having it examined by a professional coin dealer or grading service. Now you might be wondering how much a normal 1965 Washington quarter without errors is worth. Most circulated examples are still worth just 25 cents, but uncirculated examples might sell for a few dollars. And if you are lucky enough to find one of the rare silver errors or an extremely high-grade example, the value could be hundreds or even thousands. That is why coin collectors always say one important rule: always check your change. Rare coins have been discovered in everyday circulation many times. People have found valuable coins in old piggy banks, inherited coin jars, garage sales, and even pocket change. The next time you see a 1965 Washington quarter, take a closer look. Check the edge for silver. Look at the condition. Examine the details. You never know when a small piece of history could turn out to be a hidden treasure. And remember, every coin has a story. The 1965 Washington quarter represents a moment when the United States changed its coinage forever. It marked the end of circulating silver coins and the beginning of the modern clad coins we still use today. So, that simple quarter might not just be money. It might be a piece of American history. If you enjoy discovering rare coins and learning how to identify valuable pocket change, make sure to subscribe and keep exploring them. Fascinating world of coin collecting. American 2014 P. Arches $quarter coin. Full story, value, and collector guide. Today we're exploring one of the most interesting modern U.S. quarters, the 2014 P. Arches $quarter. This coin is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program and represents Arches National Park in Utah. While millions were produced, certain examples have become surprisingly valuable depending on condition, errors, and grading. The America the Beautiful Quarters program began in 2010 and ran through 2021. Each year, 5 national parks or sites were honored on the reverse of the quarter. In 2014, one of the featured locations was Arches National Park. The Arches design became extremely popular among collectors because of its beautiful landscape and detailed engraving. The 2014 P. Arches quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The letter P mint mark appears on the obverse of the coin, just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. Philadelphia produced hundreds of millions of these coins for circulation, which means most examples you find in pocket change are common. However, collectors know that condition is everything. Let's first talk about the design. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington. This design is based on the original sculpture by John Flanagan that first appeared on the quarter in 1932. Around Washington's portrait you will see the inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and $quarter. The year 2014 appears beneath Washington's image, and the small P mint mark indicates the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse of the coin shows one of the most recognizable views from Arches National Park. The design features delicate arch towering above a distant landscape with the La Salle Mountains in the background. This natural sandstone arch is one of the most photographed landmarks in the United States. The inscriptions on the reverse include Arches, Utah, 2014, and E Pluribus Unum. This beautiful design was created by artist Donna Weaver and sculpted by engraver Charles Vickers of the United States Mint. Now let's talk about mintage numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 488 million 2014 P. Arches quarters. With such a large number, most circulated examples are only worth their face value of 25 cents. But collectors are always searching for higher grade coins and special varieties that can be worth far more. condition plays a huge role in coin value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 using the Sheldon grading scale. Circulated coins that show wear might grade anywhere from good to extremely fine. Uncirculated coins that were never used in commerce can grade from mint state 60 all the way up to mint state 70. A typical circulated 2014 P Arches quarter might be worth between 25 cents and $1 depending on its condition, but once we enter uncirculated territory, values start to rise. A mint state 63 example might sell for around $2 to $5. A mint state 65 example can often sell for $10 to $20. Higher grades become much rarer because modern coins are difficult to find in perfect condition. A mint state 67 coin may sell for $100 or more depending on the quality and demand among collectors. If a perfect mint state 68 example appears at auction, the value can climb to several $100s. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC certify coins and assign official grades. When a coin receives a very high grade from these companies, collectors are often willing to pay strong premiums. Now let's discuss something that excites collectors even more than high grades: mint errors. Error coins occur during the manufacturing process at the mint. These mistakes can dramatically increase a coin's value because they are rare and unique. One type of error collectors look for is a double die. This happens when the coin's design is impressed twice, slightly offset from each other. On a double die coin, you might see doubling in the letters or numbers, especially around the inscriptions. Another possible error is an off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin is not properly aligned during the striking process. The design may appear shifted, leaving part of the blank metal visible. Off-center strikes can sell for $20, $50, or even more depending on how dramatic the error is. There are also clipped planchet errors where part of the coin is missing due to a mistake during the metal blank cutting process. Some collectors have reported die cracks or cut errors on certain 2014 Arches quarters. These appear as raised lines or blobs of metal caused by damage to the minting die. While these errors are not extremely common, finding one in circulation can turn an ordinary quarter into a valuable collectible. Now let's talk about how collectors search for valuable examples. Many coin hunters look through bank rolls of quarters searching for coins in pristine condition. A fresh uncirculated coin that avoided scratches and where can potentially achieve a high grade. Collectors also examine coins under magnification. A simple magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can reveal small details that are not visible to the naked eye. Pay attention to the high points of the design, especially Washington's hair and the delicate arch on the reverse. These areas often show the first signs of wear. Sharp details and strong luster are good indicators of a higher grade coin. Another thing to watch for is the coin's strike quality. Some coins are struck more sharply than others. Well-struck examples with full details are more desirable. Now let's discuss the broader appeal of the Arches quarter. Arches National Park in Utah is home to more than 2,000 natural sandstone arches formed over millions of years through erosion and geological processes. Delicate arch stands about 65 feet tall and has become an iconic symbol of the American Southwest. By placing this natural wonder on the reverse of the quarter, the United States Mint celebrated the beauty of the nation's national parks and encouraged people to learn more about these protected landscapes. For many collectors, the America, the Beautiful Quarters program became an exciting treasure hunt. Each new design offered a chance to discover a piece of American history and geography through everyday pocket change. Even though the 2014 P Arches quarter is not extremely rare, it remains an important part of the series. High-grade examples, attractive specimens, and mint errors continue to draw attention from collectors around the world. Let's summarize the potential value ranges collectors might encounter. Circulated examples are usually worth face value up to $1. Uncirculated examples may range from $2 to $20 depending on grade. High-grade mint state 67 examples can reach $100 or more. Top-graded coins approaching mint state 68 may sell for several $100s at auction. Error coins can vary widely but may range from $20 to several $100s depending on the type and severity of the error. If you enjoy coin collecting, the best advice is to check every quarter carefully. Valuable coins can appear in everyday circulation when you least expect them. Keep your coins protected in holders or albums to preserve their condition. Avoid touching the surface directly because fingerprints and scratches can reduce value. If you believe you have found a rare or high-grade example, consider submitting it to a professional grading service for authentication and grading. Coin collecting is more than just searching for valuable pieces. It is about history, art, and the thrill of discovery. The 2014 P. Arches quarter is a perfect reminder that even modern pocket change can tell an incredible story about America's landscapes, culture, and craftsmanship. We are going to talk about a very interesting coin from the Beautiful Quarters series. The coin is the 2016 D. Harper's Ferry quarter dollar. Many collectors search for this coin because of its beautiful design and the possibility of rare varieties and high-value examples. If you have a 2016 D. Harper's Ferry quarter in your pocket change, you might be wondering if it could be worth more than 25 cents. In this video, we will explore the history of the Harper's Ferry site, the design of the coin, mint mark details, errors that collectors look for, and the potential value of this coin in different conditions. Let's start with the history behind the coin. Harper's Ferry is located in the state of West Virginia at the meeting point of the Potomac River and the Shenandoah River. This location played an important role in American history. In the early years of the United States, Harper's Ferry was chosen as the location for a federal armory and arsenal. The armory produced weapons for the United States military for many years. One of the most famous events connected to Harper's Ferry happened in 1859, when abolitionist John Brown led a raid on the federal armory. His goal was to start a rebellion against slavery. Although the raid was unsuccessful, the event increased tensions in the country and became one of the sparks that eventually led to the American Civil War. Because of its historical importance, Harper's Ferry became a national historical park. Millions of visitors travel there every year to learn about American history and see the preserved buildings and landscapes. Now let's talk about the Beautiful Quarters program. The United States Mint launched the Beautiful Quarters series in 2010. The program was created to honor national parks and historic sites from all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and United States territories. Each year 5 new designs were released. The Harper's Ferry design represents the state of West Virginia and was released in 2016. Collectors around the country were excited to add this coin to their collections. Now let's look at the design of the coin. The obverse side of the quarter features the well-known portrait of George Washington. This design was originally created by sculptor John Flanagan in 1932. The portrait has been used on the quarter for many decades and is one of the most recognizable coin designs in the United States. On the front of the coin, you will see the word Liberty at the top. To the left of Washington is the phrase "In God We Trust." At the bottom of the coin, you will see the date 2016. Now let's move to the reverse side of the coin, which shows the Harper's Ferry design. The reverse features John Brown's fort. This historic building was originally part of the Federal Armory and is strongly connected to the events of John Brown's raid. The design shows the brick building surrounded by trees and landscape. Above the image, you will see the words Harper's Ferry. Below the design is the name of the state West Virginia. At the top of the coin, you will see the words United States of America and the denomination quarter dollar. The reverse design was created by United States Mint designer Barbara Fox and sculpted by Phoebe Hemphill. Now let's talk about the mint mark. The 2016 Harper's Ferry quarter was produced at 3 mints. The Philadelphia Mint, which uses no mint mark. the Denver Mint, which uses the D Mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint, which produce special collector versions. Today we are focusing on the 2016 D Harper's Ferry quarter. The D Mint mark means the coin was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins. Because of the large mintage, most examples found in circulation are only worth face value. However, the value can increase depending on the condition of the coin and whether it has any rare errors. Now let's talk about condition and grading. Coin collectors use a grading scale to describe the condition of coins. Coins that have been heavily used in circulation are called circulated coins. These usually show scratches, wear, and dull surfaces. Circulated 2016 D Harper's Ferry quarters are usually worth around 25 cents to $1 depending on their appearance. But coins that were never used in circulation are called uncirculated coins. These coins have bright luster and sharp details. Uncirculated examples can sell for $2 to $5 or more depending on the quality. Now let's discuss the most exciting part for collectors, which is coin errors. Mint errors can make a coin much more valuable. These errors happen during the minting process when something goes wrong with the machinery, or the planchet. Point one error to look for is a double die error. This happens when the design is stamped onto the coin more than once in slightly different positions. When this occurs, you may see doubled letters or numbers. Collectors also look for off-center strikes. In this case, the design is not perfectly centered on the coin. Another interesting error is a clipped planchet. This happens when the metal blank was cut incorrectly before the coin was struck. Die cracks are also popular with collectors. These appear as raised lines on the coin caused by cracks in the minting dies. If you find a Harper's Ferry quarter with a strong and visible error, the value could increase significantly. Some error coins have sold for $20, $50, or even more depending on the rarity. Now let's talk about silver versions. The San Francisco Mint produced special collector versions made of 90% silver. These were sold in special collector sets and were not released into circulation. Silver versions of the Harper's Ferry quarter can sell for $10 to $20 or more depending on condition. Now here is a tip for collectors. When you are searching your pocket change, always check the mint mark and the condition of the coin. Even common coins can become valuable when they are in perfect condition or when they contain rare mint errors. Using a magnifying glass or coin loupe can help you see small details that might be missed by the naked eye. Proper storage is also important. If you believe you have a valuable coin, place it in a protective holder to prevent scratches and damage. Many collectors also send their coins to professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. These companies examine the coin and assign an official grade. Certified coins often sell for higher prices because buyers trust the grading process. Now let's look at auction prices. Most circulated 2016 D Harper's Ferry quarters sell for around face value. But high-grade uncirculated examples graded MS67 or higher can sometimes sell for $30 or more at auction. Error coins with dramatic mistakes can reach even higher prices depending on the demand among collectors. That is why it is always worth checking your coins carefully before spending them. Before we finish this video, let's quickly review. The 2016 D Harper's Ferry quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarter series. It honors Harper's Ferry National Historical Park in West Virginia. The coin features John Brown's fort on the reverse and George Washington on the obverse. Most examples are common, but high-grade coins and error varieties can be worth more than face value. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most exciting topics for modern coin collectors and pocket change hunters: the 2021 P Mint Mark $quarter coins. Many people ignore these coins because they look common, but some of them can actually sell for surprising prices depending on condition, errors, and demand. In this video, we will explore the most valuable 2021 P $quarter coins, their designs, how to identify them, and how much collectors are currently paying in the coin market. The mint mark P means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia has been producing coins since 1792, and it remains one of the largest minting facilities in the United States. In 2021, the Philadelphia Mint produced several quarter designs as part of the America the Beautiful series and the beginning of the Washington crossing the Delaware design. Most people spend these quarters every day without realizing some versions can be worth far more than 25 cents. Let us start with the basics of the 2021 P quarter dollar. The coin features George Washington on the obverse side. Washington has appeared on the quarter since 1932. The portrait used today is a modified version of the famous sculptor John Flanagan design. The reverse side changed several times during the America the Beautiful program. These coins honor national parks and historic locations across the United States. Collectors search these coins in mint state condition, meaning coins that show no wear and still retain their original mint luster. Now let us talk about the first important coin. 2021 P Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site Quarter. This was the final coin released in the America the Beautiful Quarter series. The design honors the Tuskegee Airmen, the first African-American military aviators in the United States Armed Forces. The reverse shows a Tuskegee Airman pilot preparing for flight with two aircraft flying overhead. Regular circulated examples usually sell for around $1 to $3, but coins graded MS65 can sell for around $10 to $18. Higher grade coins such as MS67 have sold for around $80. One exceptional MS68 example sold for nearly $425 at auction. That means a quarter worth 25 cents in your pocket could potentially be worth hundreds if it is perfectly preserved. Next, we move to another 2021 design. 2021 P Washington crossing the Delaware quarter. Late in 2021, the United States Mint introduced a new reverse design showing George Washington leading his troops across the Delaware River during the Revolutionary War. This powerful design replaced the America the Beautiful series and began a short transitional design before the American Women Quarter series. Circulated coins normally sell between 50 cents and $2. Uncirculated rolls often sell between $20 and $40 depending on condition. High-grade certified coins have brought impressive prices. MS67 examples can sell for $40 to $90. And MS68 examples sold for around $350. Collectors love this coin because it represents a historic moment in American history. Now let us discuss something every coin hunter should watch for: errors. Mint errors can dramatically increase the value of a coin. Even modern coins, like the 2021 P quarters, can contain mistakes that collectors actively search for. One of the most common is the die crack error. A die crack occurs when the metal die used to strike coins develops a fracture. This leaves raised lines across the coin's surface. Minor die crack coins might sell for $5 to $15. Large dramatic die cracks can sell for $40 or more. Another valuable error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned when it is struck by the dies. Off-center 2021 P quarters with a clear date can sell for $50 to $120 depending on how far off-center the strike is. Next is the clipped planchet error. This occurs when the blank coin planchet is improperly punched from the metal sheet, leaving a curved missing portion on the coin. A 2021 P quarter with a clipped planchet can sell between $30 and $100 depending on the size of the clip. Another interesting variety collectors search for is doubling. Double die coins show a slight doubling effect on letters or numbers because of misalignment during the die creation process. If you see strong doubling on the lettering of a 2021 P quarter, the value could range from $20 to $150, depending on visibility. Now let us talk about condition. Condition is the number one factor that determines coin value. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70. Most coins found in circulation grade around VF or EF. Uncirculated coins may grade MS60 to MS65. The highest grades, such as MS67 and MS68, are extremely rare for modern coins because even small contact marks reduce the grade. For example, a typical circulated 2021 P quarter may be worth only 25 cents, but the same coin in MS67 condition could be worth $70 or more, and an MS68 coin could reach several $100s. That is why collectors search bank rolls and mint sets hoping to find pristine examples. Now let us discuss how you can find these coins. The easiest method is checking pocket change. Millions of these coins entered circulation, so they still appear in everyday transactions. Another method is roll hunting. This involves buying rolls of quarters from banks and searching through them for high-quality examples or error coins. Collectors often search hundreds or even thousands of coins looking for one valuable piece. Mint sets are another option. The United States Mint sold official 2021 uncirculated coin sets containing coins from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Coins from these sets tend to be in better condition and sometimes grade higher. Now let us review the approximate market values again for the most notable 2021 P quarter dollars. 2021 P Tuskegee Airman quarter circulated value $1 to $3 MS65 value $10 to $18 MS67 value around $80 MS68 auction record about 425 $2,021 P Washington crossing the Delaware quarter circulated value 50 cents to $2 MS65 value around $15 MS67 value $42 $90 MS68 auction sale about $350 error coin values minor die crack $5 to $15 major die crack $30 to $60 off center strike $50 to $120 clip planchet $30 to $100 strong double die $20 to $150. These numbers can change depending on the coin market and collector demand, but they give a good idea of what these coins can be worth. Before we finish, here are a few tips for new collectors. Always examine coins under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass or coin loupe. Avoid cleaning coins because cleaning can reduce their value dramatically. Store valuable coins in protective holders to prevent scratches. If you believe you found a high-grade or rare error coin, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified coin often sells for much more because collectors trust the official grade. Modern quarters might seem ordinary, but history has shown that even recent coins can become valuable over time. Many collectors who search their change carefully have discovered coins worth hundreds of dollars. We are going to talk about one of the most interesting modern American quarters that many people still find in circulation. This is the 2020 P Salt River Bay quarter dollar. Some of these coins are only worth 25 cents, but others can be worth several dollars or even more depending on their condition and special characteristics. So, if you have a jar of quarters at home or you search through pocket change, this video might help you discover if you have a valuable coin hiding in your collection. Before we begin, make sure you watch until the end because I will also explain the rare versions and the highest auction prices these coins have sold for. The America, the Beautiful Quarter program. The Salt River Bay quarter is part of the America, the Beautiful Quarters program from the United States Mint. This program started in 2010 and continued until 2021. Each year the Mint released 5 different quarters showing important national parks and historical locations across the United States and its territories. Collectors love this series because it combined history, nature, and coin collecting all in one. Each design represents a unique place and tells a story about the culture and natural beauty of the country. The 2020 coins were especially memorable because they were produced during a difficult time in the world. Despite challenges, the Mint continued producing coins that honored national parks and historical landmarks. Introduction to the Salt River Bay Quarter. The 2020 Salt River Bay Quarter celebrates the Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve located in St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. This area is historically important because it was the site where Christopher Columbus landed during his second voyage to the Americas in 1493. It also preserves mangrove forests, coral reefs, and a diverse ecosystem filled with wildlife. The coin design beautifully captures this environment. On the reverse side of the coin, you can see red mangrove trees growing in this saltwater bay. Their roots extend into the water, creating a unique and important habitat for marine life. This design reminds collectors that coins are not just money. They are small pieces of art and history that can teach us about places around the world. The obverse design on the front side of the coin, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington. This design was originally created by the sculptor John Flanagan and has appeared on U.S. quarters for decades. Above the portrait you will see the word Liberty. To the left is the phrase "In God We Trust." At the bottom of the coin is the year 2020. 4 coins produced in Philadelphia. You will also see a small letter P mint mark on the obverse side. The Philadelphia Mint. The P mint mark stands for the Philadelphia Mint. This mint facility is one of the oldest in the United States and has been producing coins since 1792. 4 Most of the 20th century Philadelphia coins did not have mint marks on quarters, but modern quarters now include the P mint mark to show their origin. Millions of 2020p Salt River Bay quarters were produced in Philadelphia and released into circulation across the United States. How many were made? The mintage of the 2020p Salt River Bay quarter was more than 56 million coins. Because of this large number, most examples found in circulation are still worth face value. However, collectors always look for coins in excellent condition, and these can be worth more. Condition and coin grades. The value of a coin depends heavily on its condition. Coin collectors use a grading scale that goes from poor condition to perfect mint state. Coins that have been used in circulation usually show scratches, wear, and dull surfaces. These coins are typically worth about $0.25. But coins that were never used and remain in mint state condition can be much more valuable. For example, a mint state 63 coin might sell for around $1 to $2. A mint state 65 example might sell for about $3 to $6. A very high-grade mint state 67 coin can sometimes sell for $20 or more depending on demand. High-grade auction examples in recent years. High-grade examples of the 2020p Salt River Bay quarter have been graded by professional grading services. Some coins graded MS67 have sold for around $30 to $40 at auctions. These are coins with extremely clean surfaces, strong details, and excellent luster. Even though the coin itself is modern, collectors still compete for the very best examples. Errors and rare varieties. One of the most exciting parts of coin collecting is finding mint errors. These are coins that were accidentally produced with mistakes during the minting process. Some errors collectors look for include off-center strikes, die cracks, double strikes, clipped planchet striking errors. If you find a 2020p Salt River Bay quarter with a dramatic mint error, it could be worth anywhere from $20 to several $100s depending on the severity of the error. Collectors love error coins because they are unique and much rarer than normal coins. How to check your quarters. If you want to see whether your Salt River Bay quarter might be valuable, here are some things you can do. First, look for the P mint mark on the front of the coin. Next, examine the condition. If the coin looks shiny with almost no scratches, it may be worth more than face value. Use a magnifying glass to check for unusual details like doubling or cracks in the design. Finally, you can compare your coin with online auction results to see what similar coins have sold for. Why modern quarters can still be valuable. Many people believe only very old coins are valuable. But modern coins can also become collectible if they are in perfect condition or have rare errors. Because millions of coins enter circulation, most become scratched and worn quickly. This makes high-grade examples much harder to find later. That is why collectors often save new coins when they first appear. Collecting state and national park quarters. The beautiful quarter series has inspired many new collectors. Some people try to collect every design in circulation condition. Others build complete sets in mint state condition. A full collection of these quarters can become a fascinating historical record of American national parks and historical sites. And sometimes a simple coin found in change can turn out to be worth far more than expected. The 2020 Salt River Bay quarter is a beautiful coin that celebrates history and nature. While most examples are only worth 25 cents, coins in high-grade condition can be worth several dollars and sometimes much more. And if you are lucky enough to find an unusual mint error, that coin could become a valuable piece in your collection. We are talking about a coin that millions of people have seen, but very few have actually studied carefully. The 1978 Washington quarter with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like a normal 25-cent coin. Most people would spend it without a second thought. But collectors know that some of these quarters can actually be worth far more than face value, sometimes dozens or even hundreds of dollars depending on condition and rare varieties. So, before you spend another quarter, you might want to check your pocket change carefully, because the coin sitting in your change jar could be more valuable than you realize. Let's start with a little history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan. On the front of the coin, we see the familiar profile of George Washington facing left. Around him are the words Liberty at the top, In God We Trust to the left, and the year of minting below his portrait. On the back of the coin is a powerful American eagle with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation. Beneath the eagle are olive branches representing peace. This design remained on the quarter for decades and became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. Now let's move forward to the year 1978. During this time, the United States Mint produced quarters at multiple facilities. These included Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most coins from Denver have a small D mint mark, while coins from San Francisco usually carry an S mint mark. However, coins minted in Philadelphia traditionally had no mint mark at all. That means if you look at a 1978 quarter and you do not see a mint mark near the date, it was made at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1978, the Philadelphia Mint produced more than 673 million quarters. That is an enormous number, which means the average 1978 quarter without a mint mark is quite common. But here is where things start to get interesting. Even though millions were produced, collectors pay attention to condition, minting quality, and rare errors. These factors can dramatically increase the value of a coin. So let's talk about the market value of a typical 1978 no mint mark Washington quarter. If the coin is heavily circulated and shows a lot of wear, its value is usually about $0.25 to $0.50. In other words, it is mostly just worth face value. But if the coin is in very nice condition, what collectors call extremely fine or about uncirculated, the value may increase to around $2 to $6. Now, when we start talking about uncirculated coins, the value rises further. An uncirculated 1978 quarter graded around MS63 might sell for around $8 to $12. A higher grade coin, like MS65, could sell for about $18 to $30. But the real excitement happens when we reach top-tier grades. A superb gem example graded MS67 can reach prices between $120 and $250 depending on demand and eye appeal. And in rare cases, a nearly perfect coin graded MS67 Plus or higher has sold for more than $400 at auction. That is quite an increase from a simple 25-cent coin. But condition is not the only thing collectors look for. Another important factor is mint errors. Mint errors occur during the coin production process. These mistakes can make certain coins extremely valuable because they are rare and unusual. One possible error found on some 1978 quarters is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is not perfectly aligned with the dies during striking. As a result, part of the design may be missing from the coin. Depending on how dramatic the off-center strike is, these coins can sell for anywhere from $30 to $200. Another interesting error is the double strike. A double struck coin happens when a coin is struck more than once by the minting press. This can create overlapping designs or distorted images. A clear double strike on a 1978 quarter could sell for $100 or more depending on how visible the error is. There are also coins with clipped planchets. This occurs when the metal blank used to create the coin is improperly cut, leaving a curved missing section along the edge. A 1978 clipped planchet quarter might sell for $20 to $60 depending on size and visibility. Another error collectors look for is die cracks. A die crack appears as a raised line on the coin caused by a crack in the metal die used to strike the coin. These can sometimes run across Washington's face or across the eagle on the reverse side. Minor die cracks usually add only a small premium, but dramatic ones can raise the coin's value significantly. Collectors also watch for coins with strong luster and sharp details. Luster is the shiny reflective surface that appears on freshly minted coins. When a coin has been in circulation for many years, this luster usually fades. So, if you happen to find a 1978 quarter that still has strong mint luster and very sharp details, it might be worth setting aside. Now let's talk about something that many new collectors overlook: grading. Professional coin grading plays a huge role in determining value. Companies like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins under strict standards and assign them a grade based on condition. A coin graded by one of these companies is placed in a protective holder with its grade and certification number. For high-value coins, professional grading can significantly increase buyer confidence and auction prices. For example, a raw 1978 quarter might sell for $25 if it looks nice. But the same coin certified as MS67 by a professional grading service could sell for more than $200. That difference shows how important grading can be in the coin market. Now you might be wondering how to check your own coins. The first step is simple. Look at the date. Make sure it says 1978. Next, check for a mint mark. If there is no letter next to the date, then you have the Philadelphia version. Then examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Look for strong details in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. Check the coin's edges and surfaces for unusual shapes or striking errors. And most importantly, avoid cleaning the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and reduce the coin's value dramatically. Even gentle cleaning can leave scratches or remove original mint luster. Collectors almost always prefer coins in their natural condition. Now let's talk about where valuable 1978 quarters are often found. Believe it or not, many people discover collectible coins in everyday places. Pocket change coin rolls from banks, old piggy banks, family coin jars, estate sales, and inherited coin collections. Many collectors enjoy searching through rolls of quarters from the bank, hoping to find older or higher grade coins. While it takes patience, occasionally someone discovers a beautiful uncirculated example that has been sitting unnoticed for decades. Another tip for collectors is to store coins properly. Coins should be kept in protective holders or albums to prevent scratches and environmental damage. Humidity, fingerprints, and air pollution can all affect a coin's surface over time. Proper storage helps preserve the coin's condition and long-term value. Now let's imagine a real scenario. Someone receives a handful of change from a store. Among the coins is a shiny 1978 quarter with no mint mark. The coin looks unusually bright and the details are extremely sharp. Curious, the person decides to take a closer look and compares the coin with other quarters. It clearly stands out. After sending it to a professional grading service, the coin is graded MS67. At auction, the coin sells for $275. All from a single quarter that was almost spent on a cup of coffee. Stories like this are why coin collecting remains such an exciting hobby. Every coin has a story, and sometimes those stories turn into surprising discoveries.